I realized, I know that I did this last year. I disappeared and I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell anyone why. I went completely black on social media. This time, I wanted to communicate with you guys as much as I could. I know I was like, see you later. And I left. And like I said, I didn't know when I was going to be back. All I knew is that I had to figure out how to fix things because I couldn't keep going the way I was going. Not in my IRL life. My friendships were breaking apart because all I could do was just be sad all the time. I wasn't eating. I was really sick, like really sick. I was losing weight. I wasn't eating anymore. I couldn't eat. I was freaking sick. Like freaking, you saw it. I was puking on stream all the time. And I thought it was funny at the time, but it kind of wasn't, you know? Dude, you know, therapy is the thing. Bro, I was going to therapy twice a week. I'll be so real with you, like therapy is really important, but it wasn't helping. It wasn't helping me. I was stuck in a routine that wasn't healthy for me, right? So Camila, around the time I already wanted to leave, wanted me to go to TwitchCon Europe. Okay, and I was like, you know what? The timing is impeccable. I will go to Europe and I will be free and I will enjoy myself and I will try to take some time away from the stream to figure out why I feel this way. So, so I pack my bags, I leave the stream behind. I meet up with Joker and I'm so excited. I meet up with Toma and Suko, and you know, Toma and Suko had the little weird bit where like they wouldn't let them on the plane and they were sad, and I was like, I felt my heart was breaking because I was like, dude, we were supposed to go on this trip together and that all happened, and I'm like, it's okay, we'll meet them in Rotterdam. It was like a 13.5 or something, or I can't remember, trip. We get there, I'm excited. I'm like in the line in customs, getting out my camera, my brand new camera I bought to vlog everything. I get to the guy at customs. Now, mind you, I don't know if you all remember, but the lead up to leaving, I had been kind of dicked around a lot from the US Embassy about my renewal for my passport. And it was because of the photos. They'd be like, it's too green. Send it again. I'd send it again. They're like, no, it's still not working. Give us another one. And I had done this like 3-4 months prior to leaving. I did this way ahead of time. So before I left, they were like, we'll provide you with an emergency passport. And I was like, okay, but here are the countries that I'm going to and the cities. Will it work? And they literally said, take a breath, calm down. You'll be fine. And I have proof. Lindsay heard me on the phone and heard them on the phone. They treated me like I was crazy for being like, I want to be sure that this is okay, which is wild because I was worried about going to America. Boy, was I wrong. So fast forward, I'm at customs at Rotterdam. I'm so close. I'm like already planning, I'm gonna get into the hotel room. Like I'm sharing a room with like Suko and Toma. I can't wait to have a girls' night. I can't wait to get dressed with them. I have my meet and greet soon. I picked out specific outfits to meet you guys in. I was so excited. They look at me and they go, step aside, please. They take me aside and I'm sitting and I'm waiting at this little like bench for like 20 minutes. Then they bring me in and they interrogate me. They interrogate me for like 4 or so hours, asking me, where am I going? Where am I coming from? Where was I born? Show me your bank account. How much money do you make? Then throughout this process, they have me sit outside and they come back and then they take my fingerprints, they take my photos, and I don't know what's happening and I'm trying to keep it together. Okay, because usually in really rough situations, I go stern. Like I don't cry. I'm just very like, mind you, 99% of them look really like intense, tall, scary, not really speaking English Viking dudes. You look at them wrong, they will throw you across the room. Okay, but the one guy that was talking to me, interrogating me, it was, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of rough because he looked like some straight out of Vogue supermodel. I like, so I didn't want to look like a nervous idiot. He was like the most beautiful thing I've seen in my whole life. And he's interrogating me, bro. And I'm like, I've never seen someone that looks like this in person in my whole life. So after hours and hours, and then they asked me a bunch of questions, and Joker tried to sit with me as long as he could. And I'm like, I have my head in my hands and I'm crying, but like quietly, like I don't let Joker see me. And just poor Joker, he's so little. He like very hesitantly was hesitantly rubbing my back and did like the pat. Like I think he wanted to try to console me but didn't know how. So Joker has to go because he's already been here for like what, 5-6 hours or something crazy. Maybe I'm exaggerating. I try to call the US Embassy and at this point it's Friday. So everything's closed. And I get an emergency line and the guy's like, I want to help you. I can't help you until Tuesday because it is a holiday on Monday. And I everything that could go wrong is going wrong. And anyone that could help me can't. I'm on the other side of the world. Everyone's pretty much asleep at this point in America. Nothing's working. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. At this point, I didn't tell my community because I don't know what's going on. And I don't want them to see that I'm scared. So I'm literally the most alone I've felt in a really long time. Mind you, this is after I say I'm leaving the community, trying to figure myself out, and here I'm put in a situation that is so much worse than I anticipated. Then after a very long time, they come out with this stack, like this thick stack of paperwork, and they go, okay, we're sending you home. And this is him like leaning with the door kind of half cracked open, like he's trying to get me to go away. So I can't have a conversation. And then he closes the door and I'm like, what? Like there's no explanation. There's this paperwork that's in whatever language is in Netherlands. It's not in English for the most part. And so I knock and I'm like, can someone help me? Like, where do I go? What do you mean? When am I going? Where am I going? Am I going to New Zealand? What's happening? So someone comes out again and is like, you can come back at 7:30 a.m. At this point, I think it's like 7 p.m. or something like that. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I had to stay at the airport and then come back? He was like, yep. Mind you, by the way, they confiscated my passports because I had asked, can I just go to Germany? Because I was already going to go to Germany and I proved that to them. Because in Germany, they accept emergency passports. They don't accept it in the Netherlands. They confiscated my passports because they don't even want me to travel anywhere else in the country. They want me out. They want me gone. They said, we're sending you back to America. So they're not even sending me home. If I wanted to go back to New Zealand, I had to pay money for it. So at this point, I'm like, okay, even if I wanted to go home, I'd have to spend like $3,000 to get back home. So I go and find there's like a little hotel in the airport. I'm like, thank God, I don't have to sleep in the airport. I get there. It was $700 a night. My phone's gonna die. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. I'm alone. No one's awake because it's off hours in America. I'm by myself. So I either don't spend $700 that I don't really have, or I sleep at the airport that is very scary. So I foot the bill, and it's this tiny little square, like wooden room. And it's just enough to lay down and just enough to like use the bathroom. That's when I updated you guys. And I just cried, bro. I just cried. I wake up, I get there in the morning, and these two like kind of police officers have to escort me the whole way through security, the whole way through to the flight. They talk to the captain. They have my passports and information in a sealed like documentation. They pass it to the freaking captain and go, she can't have her documentation or her passports until she lands. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, I felt like a criminal. I really did. So the flight takes off, we're in the air. The captain walks up to me and he kind of kneels and he goes, are you okay? What happened? And I explain the situation. And he looks pissed. He's like, they shouldn't have done that to you. That doesn't make any sense. I'm so sorry. He was like flabbergasted. He was like, listen, I'm just going to give you your information, your documentation, your passports now. I don't need to wait till we land. And I hope that you're okay. I take the trip in economy all the way back home. At this rate, I'm like digging into my savings and I said, you know what? I'm going to make the most of this really bad situation. So I'm in Seattle for like a week. I call up Sci-Fi. I'm like, bro, I'll buy you a ticket. I don't even care. Sci-Fi comes. All like 4 of us are touring Seattle and we're eating hot dogs. We're going to the arcade. We're having a good time. And mind you, throughout this period, I'm still sad. I'm still periodically just really lost. But it's okay because I just gotta keep going. But I had such a good time. And then I traveled to Texas. I met Ray. I had lunch with Ray. It was like, I think we hung out for like 4 or 5 hours. And he said it was one of the first times that Tina was out of town, and he never just really was able to like hang out with anyone one-on-one. So I felt really lucky that I just pretty much interviewed him. And then later on, Tina came back. They invited me to their house and they picked me up, bro. Oh my God. I went to their warehouse and I was like, are you sure? Are you sure I can do this? And they gave me this box and they're like, take whatever you want. So I had this huge box. Like I'm wearing one of their shirts now. I got shirts and sweaters. This morning I put on their little like raised Christmas sweater, which is amazing. I met their dogs. They've got a beautiful home. They were so nice to me. I met with gamer subs. And I know that sounds silly, but this was really, really, really big for me. They treated me like family. They took me out to this steakhouse, and I think I had the best steak I've ever had in my entire life. I also went to their offices twice, and on the way out of the trip, I came back and for the first time in my life, I got to experience like having this meeting. It was like in a boardroom, around like a boardroom table, and there was like 9 people sitting and there was a big screen TV with my future rebrand model on the screen. That makes me want to cry more than anything else, was seeing her on the screen and explaining her background and her lore and why she is the way she is, and seeing their excitement across the board, people being like, let's get on this. Let's plan 4 or 5 drops and this, and we can make this unique item, and we're gonna have this, and the community would really like that. Dude, I need to tell you, Gamer Subs is fully behind providing so many amazing things for you guys in the future. When you do trips, you sure pack them with events. Like I said, the only reason why, because I've never done this in my life, the only reason why I did it is because, like I said, I didn't know when I was coming back to stream. All I knew is what I needed to do was be sure that I was healed and mentally good, not just stable, but good. So when I come back to stream, I give you my full effort and my full self. And I don't want to be unstable when I come back to streaming, right? So if it's from seeing Kraken again, mending bridges, seeing Tomato, I got to see Peach, Ray, Tina, I saw Tricky, I saw Lily for the first time. Oh, her hands are so soft. Seeing Philly, dude, I had probably the best time of my life with Fillion. Oh God, thank you so much, Fillion, for having me and spending so much time with me. We got like our nails done and our eyebrows waxed, and we had some girl time. We had some wonderful like meals. I had such a, Fillion is gonna be a part of my life forever. I love her, and I always will. I even though I'm not done telling my experiences, I can with confidence say I'm really glad I got deported.